Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Jayson here, and today we're back at it with a brand new NBA video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my predictions for the Eastern Conference standings. And yes, I'm wearing the same clothes as I did yesterday. That's because I'm pre-recording a whole bunch of videos today because I'm going on a trip, as I said a couple videos ago. But yeah, I'm going to be wearing the same clothes for the next 5 videos. Great. Anyway, guys, this is my predictions for the Eastern Conference standings. Let's hop right into it. To start off the number 1 seed, because I'm not going to go from 10 to 1. I'm going to start from 1 down to 10. I'm just not going to do that. At my number 1 seed, I have the, Brooklyn Nets. The obvious choice for me, at least. And the Nets, as long as they're fully healthy, I think they're going to be the number 1 seed. God forbid any injuries. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, the surrounding cast. This team is just too good to not be the number 1 seed. And honestly, they might be my favorites to win the NBA championship. It depends on really what the Western Conference has to bring and how people in the Western Conference play. But the Nets are my number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and I feel like this is the obvious choice. Now, moving on to my number 2 seed is the Milwaukee Bucks. I feel like this is another obvious choice. Reigning NBA champions. Shout out to Giannis. Great performance to the NBA Finals. I feel like this is another obvious choice. Obviously, having Jrue Holiday, still Khris Middleton, and, the obvious, multiple time MVP, Finals MVP, Giannis. I feel like this is another one where it's like this is going to be the 2nd seed. And I feel like it's not even arguable as long as there's no, injuries, which isn't always the case. But if there's no injuries, then I feel like this will be the number 2 seed. And I feel like they're going to play very, very, very well. It's going to be a scary team to play, especially in the playoffs. I wonder what's going to happen. And I really do think they're going to be really, really good this year. Now let's move to the number 3 seed. And I have the Atlanta Hawks here. Obviously, this is a team that did outperform their predictions last year, and their new coach is amazing. I really do like their new coach, and I feel like they're only going to get better. Obviously, the Eastern Conference is not as stacked as the Western Conference, but if you look at it on paper and you look at the teams, it really is a stacked conference, just not as much as the Western Conference. The NBA is just really talented. If you didn't know that, the NBA is talented. Yeah, the Eastern Conference is a really good conference, especially with a lot of the moves that these teams made. I feel like this is going to be a really, really difficult conference to get into in the playoffs also. So I feel like the Hawks will be the 3 seed because Trae Young, another year of getting better, has playoff experience, deep playoff experience now. They did re-sign John Collins. Cam Reddish is going to get better. Kevin Huerter is going to get better. Clint Capella, you know what he is. I don't think he's going to get much better, but I feel like he's going to provide what he has always provided. So I really do like this Hawks team, and I feel like they're going to be either the 3 seed or the 4 seed. I don't think there's much changing there, and that's just my personal opinion. So moving on to the 4 seed, this is where I have the Philadelphia 76ers. And this is a tough one for me, putting them at the 4 seed. I felt like I should put them lower just because of the Ben Simmons situation. I didn't know how that was going to affect their chemistry as a team, and I didn't know what was going to happen. Obviously, Joel Embiid just got that massive contract extension, so obviously they're going to have him locked down. But I don't know how the Ben Simmons situation is going to affect the team chemistry and how they perform. If Ben Simmons does get traded or not play at all, I wonder how that's going to play out. But I do have the 76ers here at 4. They could be lower, could be higher. Really depends on what happens. 76ers were kind of my wild card here because I didn't know what was going to happen. But I feel like there's not much to talk about 76ers. You know what they are. They've been in and out of, contention for what feels like forever now. Obviously, they were really bad not too long ago, but you know how it is. Obviously, I don't know how it's going to be, but let's move on to my 5 seed. And my 5 seed here is the Miami Heat. I feel like they're just really the best team when it comes to getting better this offseason. Obviously, losing Kendrick Nunn is not a great move, but re-signing, Duncan Robinson, having another year of Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, having Kyle Lowry now. I feel like they're just going to get better. I don't see any way that they don't just get better from this offseason. I wonder what's going to happen when it comes to, are they going to make the finals? Are they going to come close to the finals? I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that they are going to be a good team this year, and the 5 seed is my prediction. Now let's move on to my 6 seed, and this is the Boston Celtics. I feel like last year they kind of underperformed just because of what they had, and obviously getting Dennis Schroeder on a really, really cheap deal is amazing for them. Getting rid of Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker was just injured all the time, so now you have a full-time starting point guard if he ends up, being the starting point guard. And then they did re-sign Marcus Smart to a pretty decently sized deal. Jayson Tatum only getting better. Same thing with Jaylen Brown. I feel like there's no chances Celtics team doesn't make at least the 6th seed, if not higher than that. And I feel like the Celtics will be really, really good this year. I don't think there's much to talk about. Jaylen Brown is a really, really, really good player. Jayson Tatum's also a really good player. I think they're going to make the 6th seed at least. And then moving on to my 7th seed, we have another team that did make a lot of moves here, and that is the Chicago Bulls. And the Chicago Bulls obviously got DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and Alex Caruso in the offseason. This making them a really, really, really good team on paper. I don't know how it's going to work out with Zach LaVine and also, just the whole team as a whole. I wonder what's going to happen there. I feel like this team is going to be good, though. 7th seed is my prediction. I don't know if it's going to get any higher or lower. I feel like they won't get any lower than the 7th seed, but I could see them all the way up to the 4th seed. Nothing higher than that, though. It really depends on how everything breaks game-wise. And I don't know. That's my prediction for the Bulls. I feel like they're going to be that 7th seed or maybe a little bit higher. But I do like the DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball moves. Alex Caruso maybe getting overpaid, but I feel like they're gonna overpay a guy like that to provide defense, and I can't really bash them for it. Now going to my A seed, I have the New York Knicks, and obviously they're moving down. Even though they got better, in my opinion, I just feel like the other teams got significantly better than what they did, and I feel like they're still gonna be in that play-in tournament, and I feel like they're just gonna be great. All around, especially Julius Randle, as long as he performs like he did last year, signing, Evan Fournier and guys like that, getting all your crew back together that you had last year, pretty much re-signing everyone else for at least 1-year deals. And I really think this team is going to be at least an 8th seed. Of course, I feel like the Eastern Conference is one of those stacked conferences, as I said, but in that top 10, really you can just move around. Like, people really can move around. Obviously the Nets are probably going to be the number 1 seed, but otherwise than that, it could be moved around completely from what I'm saying. But yeah, I feel like the Knicks are going to be that 8th seed, and I feel like they're going to perform well, just not well enough to be anything higher than that. And then going to my 9th seed, a team that I did make a playoff predictions thing on and saying that they were a dark horse, and this is the Indiana Pacers. And I have them at the 9th seed. It's not because they're not talented, it's because I feel like they're not going to do great in the regular season, but I feel like they're going to be a good postseason team. And I really do like the Pacers. Obviously, the team is just completely full of underrated players. Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, Domantas Sabonis. That team is going to be really good, and I'm really excited to see what the Indiana Pacers going to do. And obviously, at the 9th seed, it being in the play-in tournament, I don't know what's going to happen for them. And then I want to move on to our 10th seed, which is our last seed, obviously, for this video, because we are predicting the playoffs, including the play-in, and that is the Charlotte Hornets. And I feel like this is kind of an obvious one, LaMelo only getting better, them getting Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward still being Gordon Hayward, now they're a couple years off of, Miles Bridges and PJ Washington, them playing better. PJ Washington going to be playing for that contract, Obviously, now that he has to pay $1 million per season for his kid, actually more than $1 million, which is crazy. I feel like he's going to be playing for that money, and that's something that I love to see, especially PJ Washington. He's a good kid, man. He really is a good kid. And I think this Hornets team is going to be really, really, really good. Obviously not any better than the top 9 seeds prior to it, but I feel like they're going to be good nonetheless. And I could be wrong. I really, really could be wrong. They could be like the 3rd seed. I don't see that happening, but they could be. And obviously it really depends on how LaMelo does develop and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is my Eastern Conference playoff predictions. If you guys did enjoy this video, remember to like, subscribe, spin your boy Jayson. New video up tomorrow. Yeah. See you guys. Peace out.